I'd like to call the Conservation Commission meeting to order on March 11th. It is 5 o'clock. And so we can get moving. Just go around the room. That would tell you for the roll call.
Joe Russo.
Krista May.
Nina Regan, Chris Picklow,
Lori Bubbles. Deb Mapes.
and we do expect Peter here. I think he's usually pretty good, actually. I hope he's okay. He's here on time. Okay. All right. So minutes from last month. Thank you, Krista. Any edits or comments? I did not see anything.
Make a motion to accept the minutes.
I'll make a motion. Or second.
I'll second it.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? Right, so moved. Oh yeah. So correspondence and announcements, just, yeah, one thing that's on, Lynette cannot be here, but she sent me a note to do the Sustainable Connecticut, et cetera, but it was, oh, I'm thinking of two, yeah, so there's going to be two things at the Acton Library, so April 10th, now I'm forgetting what time, Kathy Connolly is going to present the tree brochure again, do a public presentation of the tree brochure. Is anybody, I can't remember the time, shoot. I was actually going to try to go. I get her newsletter and it was in there, but I'll try to remember to let you know, Krista, to just put it in the minutes, just so that, yeah, in case people, she came to our, our meeting a while ago, but it's not always a bad idea to hear it again if you want. I know at least me, need to hear things 2 and 3 times for it to stick. And then Lynette has another program at Acton Library, protecting our pollinators, which is on April 24th at 6 p.m. I don't know who's doing that, but okay. We just kind of got started. Other than getting through the roll call.
Kathy Connolly's is from 6 to 7:30.
Oh, thank you. Oh, all right. So on the 10th, 6 to 7:30, yeah, because I think it is in the middle of the week, so. Okay. I'll just make a note of that. I don't have anything else in terms of correspondence announcements. Anybody have any number? So let's go through the committees. Peter, inland wetlands.
The paramount issue is the property at the end of Sheffield, which I'm expecting that we'll get run out of our location for a meeting with the amount of interest that exists.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, that's next Thursday at 7 o'clock. And, the proposal is to fill in wetlands, to build new ones on another section of the properties, and to have, I think it's 3 multi-million-dollar homes.
Oh, it is 3. I don't know why I was thinking it was 1.
No,
No,
3.
there's a whole bunch of the cemetery.
And there's some appeasements that are attempted, such as hiking trails and a kayak launch.
So, yeah, I have a question about that because this came up in our coalition meeting recently. What is the role of the Conservation Commission? We do advise to them. I mean, is this something that falls under our jurisdiction?
Anything that deals with, the survival of habitats, sure.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
It would be advisory. Yeah, I think in one of our other meetings, I said, just hearing, waiting till the March 20th. Plus, I mean, there was a lot of information online already,
Right,
but then
yeah.
I think then we would agree, what our stance is, and I would write a letter on behalf of Conservation.
That's what I wanted to,
Commission.
yeah,
Yeah.
so.
I mean, we're not regulatory in any kind of way.
No, I
They-
understand
yeah,
that,
yeah,
but,
yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if this is the appropriate time.
Yeah, no, go ahead. Yeah, no.
Yeah, when I looked over, our book, the 2023, it's very clear in there that about the conservation and keeping it.
Mhm.
They're proposing to build another wetland area.
Right.
But, from my reading, again, I'm not
I
an
know.
expert on this, but it's really difficult to establish another wetland.
I
It
mean,
has
there's
a,
precedent for it in the state. It's happened before,
right,
and it's allowable, let's say that.
yes, yeah, but I'm just saying it's very, very difficult. And so I don't know what the position is, but before I would say, you can do switch, maybe we need to have some proof for that situation that it works before they actually assume to go ahead that it is gonna work. Because plus there's bald eagles nesting there, there's migratory birds that are on the edge, there's a lot of stuff going on that area there. And so I don't know what our position, but I think we really got to make sure that whatever they do, if in fact they're given permission to do, works. That's
Yeah,
my concern,
I know.
because if it fails, and also I understand it's only a 3-year monitoring, that after 3 years, they're not responsible.
Oh,
And,
really? I
yeah.
didn't, yeah. I didn't
I mean,
catch
that thing has to be monitored a decade.
Yeah,
And, and I don't know I know it's gonna be a huge meeting because the people
Yeah.
are really up in
Yeah.
arms around that area there. It's right next to a cemetery.
yeah, no, I
Yeah.
know.
But I think, again, I have no problem switching or but is it gonna work? That's my question. And I don't think anybody's really looked in detail at that, how it would work, or any really experts other than the arborists looking at the existing trees.
Mhm.
They haven't done an in-depth, and we need to see,
Yeah.
at least have a professional look at it.
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of hoping that, but I think the 20th is gonna be well, it's hard to predict how it will go, I don't know that the idealist part of me wants to hear what you're saying, like the informative piece, like let's hear from all of these experts that have submitted all this material and hear their backing on what they're proposing, because I think that was the biggest concern for me as well. In addition to, I don't think any of you guys went to the coastal resilience presentation. It was a couple weeks ago at the Goodwin, at the middle school rather. And just talking about sea level rise. Now, it's not gonna happen tomorrow, but I thought they're gonna spend all this time and effort in building a wetlands, and how sustainable is it if over time? I mean, that's relatively protected. It's not.
Yeah, it's a
It's
river.
not as subject to tidal surges and all that sort of
It's high enough
thing,
on the
but yet
river.
at the same time, you have to think that's got to be an impact at some point as well, so.
Well, that's the other
No.
thing we brought up in our notes, that, you're talking 16 to 20 inches now in 25 years.
Mhm.
They really moved it up.
Yeah, I think you were there, right? Did I see
Yeah.
you there? Yeah.
16 to
Yeah.
25 and
Yeah.
16 to 20 inches. And if you just look at where the elevation there, it's gonna be flooded. And, and I'm sure they're gonna artificially raise the land to build. They do that, have
Mhm.
it. But, I know this, the fellow who's doing it, I guess, does a lot of construction in the area. I don't have the history, but at some point, as for conservation, you gotta make a stand and
Yeah.
say, this is really gonna destroy the.
So I guess in terms, I mean, and I hear you and I totally agree that, we should. I'm also feeling like I think we do need to wait till at least the 20th, right? I mean, to hear some of this. Do you know?
No, you have to get
Peter,
your comments.
Yeah. Oh, you have to get them into the 20th.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay,
That's
I
the
didn't realize that.
deadline.
Okay.
No, we don't have another shot.
Oh,
Right.
okay.
Is it worth suggesting that new wetland that is established is bonded for a number of years? And that way they.
Well,
have
that would
kind
be
of-
one if it,
Mm,
but again, we don't know for sure if it's gonna stick.
Right.
We need to have some evidence in that situation. Because they don't have a lot of detail. They just
Yeah, no, they
say, we're
don't.
gonna
They
do
don't.
this and this, but I think we have a right to understand how it's gonna be done, just hiring somebody doesn't mean it works.
Right.
Right.
That's all I'm saying.
Well, my
I mean,
suggestion
I'd be
would-
happy to help with a letter or
That
something.
would, you know what, it would be great if you could. That
Yeah, I
be
would
really
help with
helpful.
that.
I mean, I read through the material before the last meeting.
I just got an email. Next week's inland wetlands meeting scheduled for March 20th has been canceled.
What?
Oh my God.
Maybe because of this case, probably our
Wow.
side may be looking to get more data. Anyway,
Yeah, okay.
doesn't say why. It says the next regular meeting will be April 17th.
All right, so we got some time.
Yeah, well, I see, because I know, and I apologize, I totally missed the fact that it was open for public comment or submitted, I was thinking it was a
Oh,
verbal
it says at the
thing.
request of the applicant. So,
Okay.
the
They're running it,
developer.
they're running
asked
it to
for a
headwinds,
delay.
yeah.
Yeah,
So, yeah, then we
Okay.
can put it together and then.
yeah, if you
at
want
the
to.
Next meeting, we can approve it.
Okay,
Yeah, all right.
all right.
I'll do a shot at it.
17,
Yeah.
April 17th.
That'll give us, we'll meet, I
Yeah.
think, let's see, second Tuesday is the 8th in April, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, first is, yeah, because I always look at, because we have the first Tuesday, so I always.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that'll be good. We'll definitely
Yeah, I
make sure,
just-
make a note.
And also just a side comment, I think in the state, doesn't Deep have to give you a permit to do any change? I mean, you have to, there's there's guidelines.
I'm pretty yeah.
There's guidelines. You have to get a permit and prove that what you're doing is actually as good as an improvement over what you're taking away, because we've lost so much wetland.
I know.
This is, virgin territory, with this kind of proposal. So
Exactly.
for me, I don't know, what the requirements are.
Yeah, but what I've seen, a lot of the variances given to people, we're getting 1,000 cuts here.
Mhm.
What they're doing is filling in this marsh, putting wall on this, and people don't understand that just pushes the neighbors once the sea level comes up.
Yeah,
So, yeah, I'll do a crack
okay,
at it.
all right,
and
that'd be
Let
great.
the group, we'll get it to everybody before the meeting,
Yeah.
so you can weigh in
Okay,
and do
yeah,
checks.
that'd be good. Okay.
All right, sorry. I didn't-
Wow, that's,
That's good. No, that was,
that was
that's important.
just fortuitous of you. Well, let me ask you, Peter, but you had, I mean, as much as I don't think anything's confidential in your minutes, but you guys had a inland wetlands meeting recent or last week or whatever. What was discussed at that time,
Was the application complete?
Oh,
So we officially accepted the application.
Right.
oh,
That's
okay,
all that
that's all
happened.
you, okay. That's all, yeah, at this point you can really do. Where's the final approval really rest? Or is it, I guess it's got to go through all of the
Yeah, well, first it goes
Zoning
through
and-
them, they gets to go through zoning,
zoning,
but they
Yeah.
get the recommendation.
yeah. Yeah. Okay.
And they, I don't know if you know, Peter, they have more authority than just, they can look at neighboring impacts too. I looked at what their charges. They seem to be, when I've sat some of the meetings, they're kind of narrow, but they can look at impacts on a broader area than just the area of the. property.
Inlands or zoning? Talk about
Inlands.
Oh,
Yeah, as long as it's directly connected to the wetland
Yes.
situation.
Yes,
Yeah.
but I mean, they can follow, like in other words, you alter this and it goes downstream, and
Yeah, yeah,
shit,
yeah.
that's still their responsibility.
Mm.
And that's the trick here, everything's gonna connect.
yeah, no, there'll be a domino effect in probably many untold,
There
unknown
goes your,
ways,
and have less
as
open
far as-
space. You got 3 more houses and you go, it's very fragile area.
Mhm.
All right, go ahead. I'm
Okay,
sorry.
no, so, all right, so we got a plan, you'll draft a
Yep.
letter and, have a little time till the 17th.
Yeah, thank God they gave us some extra.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm remiss in not paying attention to what we could have done in the interim. Okay. Preserve Management Committee. So we met last week and the forest management plan, for the most part, I think is approved or might need like one little tiny more approval, but what is now on the table, and it's actually something that I spoke to when we had the public meeting last summer, was that, and I've mentioned this before, that they want to what's the word I want? They want to redraw and redo the whole trail system within the preserve. And partly because the mountain bikers have created lots of new trails that are not even official. They're going over, vernal pools and whatever vegetation that is precious in there. And even though, there's people in the mountain biking community who say that we're cognizant and we're trying to be careful, there's, who knows who's going in or on a mountain bike and what they're paying attention to. And so there's one, speaking of deep, there's one person in the state who is in charge of all of the trail systems in the entire state. So, yeah. Just makes you like want to pull out your hair. And she's sympathetic and all of that. She came to our meeting and she just said, but I really needed to have a forest management plan complete to just sort of understand what all's in there. And, but at the same time, she's a, N of one. And so, the concern from the ad hoc committee that we will convey this to the Joint Commission, the Preserve Committee, is that, the longer these trails stay open, the more damage is going to get done, and they need to be, cut off. So we're trying now as just in the town to say, we can't wait for deep. We're not going to do anything illegal or whatever, but at least at the very, put up some signs to say, understand that this is protected, or, we can't really put caution tape up.
Are they going off path?
Oh, yeah. They like finding the big stones and trees down and, yeah. So, so it's been, it's a shame that, that's become such an issue and it's taken like forever and a day. And we pushed her to try to give us a date to when they could do the trail remapping, because it's it's like a whole GPS thing. It's not just a simple, I'll go in and close this trail. It's, they're going to do it right. And we want to have it done right. Probably have to contract it out to somebody actually, because she's not really, she has enough knowledge, but the state doesn't really have somebody that could come in and.
Do they have marked trails? Do they have marked trails?
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of marked. Yeah, there's red and yellow, but yeah, which are all, some of those I think need to be just closed for various different reasons, but all the unmarked ones are, the ones that the mountain bikers have done. And what's also happened, it doesn't happen often, but people go in there and go on these unmarked trails and get lost. And so then police are called and it's like uncomfortable for the town. And it's not a huge area, but still it's easy enough to get confused even on the marked trails, that
It's funny how subtle damage is. I was up at Banff years ago. And somebody went off trail and walked on the very fragile moss, and it stays for decades.
No.
It doesn't come back. They just damage. And so we're seeing it in a more subtle way, but the damage is still there.
There's been so much studies done by Bill Moorhead and who was the other guy that has documented all of the interesting vegetation and species that we have in there that are just pretty unique, for that area. So it's a lot of information that.
Well, hopefully, I believe that a lot of the people who do mountain biking are appreciative of the forest and respectful of it, most of them. And if we have signage to let people know not to go into certain areas, just if you see an open forest, there's really nothing there that says there's fragile environments. And so if you don't tell them, you can't blame them, there should be a sign at the beginning and then around that specific area.
Do you have a picture where the trails are at the entrance?
I'm trying to remember. I know they've been wanting to update the kiosk. That's been on sort of a budget sort of thing too, to have the trail, but they're also online. There are maps. There's maps.
Right, but
very available.
It's just a lot of it's just ignorance.
Yeah, no, it is.
Right.
Especially if they're out of town.
Yeah.
They just.
And Laurie's right. That's what we've advocated. And I can take that back even to Ray to say the Conservation Commission completely supports. Let's put in whatever signage we can, because somebody brought up the example of, and we've all seen this, when you're walking on a beach, wherever, and it's protected for sandpipers or whatever, they have these signs and people tiny and people
buy by.
People buy by.
Sure.
Yeah. So I think, it can be done. It's just, it's what makes it difficult is that it's co-owned by the state and the town. So if it was just us, we would have had this done like ages.
Oh, the state owns.
Yeah, we're kind of 50-50.
And land trust too, I think.
Yeah, the land trust put in,
Had another one, huh?
Well, there's small parcels. Don't quote me on this, but it's primarily the town and the state, because when they bought it from the developer back then, we just didn't have enough money to, kick in.
Get
so,
everything.
Yeah, so,
And then it connects to Essex and all the
Yeah.
Essex
Mhm.
property is
Right on
owned
the
by the
borders.
land trust. And they
yeah,
have.
yeah, it's the
they have
Essex
signs
Land
saying
Trust.
Mountain biking is prohibited.
Yeah.
And I know because I'm a mountain biker.
So anyway, we'll stay tuned but I will take that back to them and hopefully I'll
Yeah.
maybe have some good news to report next month that, we've gone in and put up some signage because it wouldn't. They have examples of them. They're very innocuous and yet I think they'd be impactful to people to know. Speaking of land trust. Lori?
Land trust, yeah. They're, we're still waiting, there's a property on Elm Street, I think Atlas. Made some deal with land trust, and I just realized that that's what they're talking about. They have sort of a contingent land trust property transfer pending. They're working out some plan on Elm Street. The Racket Club parcel is continuing to be in the process. They have a vernal pool walk at Great Cedars on March 22nd, and I'm
Oh,
hoping
yeah.
to go to that. That's the kids, but it's all ages really. It's on March 22nd. And that's really, that's it. They've got events coming up right after their annual meeting is on the 27th at the pavilion.
Mm.
And they'll be at our event. We have that there on the 26th.
Oh, okay. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Peter, that Elm Street property, there's wetlands back there, right? And that's, I
Right.
mean, that's what
Yeah,
I think is the
Exactly. We've been talking
under
about
discussion,
um,
behind,
Phragmites.
yeah, behind sort of,
Removal.
well, further down from Postavita, but yeah.
Right.
If you stop and look.
So
real hard, you can
that
kind of
might have
see
been
it.
something that was a, contingency of their building plan, that they were gonna improve the wetland that is there. Do you know about that
No.
property?
Yeah, a
Was there
little
some-
bit. I
Were they-
raised a concern when they were under construction that I thought they were pushing too much into the, and so,
I'll try to get to the bottom, because it sounds like it's the land trust will be receiving some property
Yeah.
into land trust. And it,
Lynette went out and checked it and she said they were steering clear of the buffer, so
okay.
Oh,
it was okay what they had done.
Hmm.
Just didn't look good to me.
yeah. Okay. Oh, so yeah, I think I said this earlier. So Larry has submitted his resignation to the commission because he just not having the time. So I think once it's formal to Carl and to the selectmen, there's a couple people that are in the offing that could be, that are interested in the commission. So, but at this point, it's like too early to really do anything official because it's not officially open yet. So, but once once we have someone, we can look to see if that person wants to take on Parks and Rec to just kind of cover their meetings. That wasn't one that we added it's newer than some of the other ones just because there would be things that we could partner on. It was always nice to just stay in touch with what they might
It seems,
do.
yeah, it seems important. I know Kathy, I went on the walk at the preserve with Chris Kreider,
Oh,
and Kathy
oh.
Conley was there, and she was like, "Aren't you in touch with Parks and Rec?" So it does seem like
Yeah.
one that,
Yeah.
When did they meet? When did they?
Don't know.
You and I couldn't until you get some.
Oh, all right. Yeah, no, that'd be
Because
great.
I'm not
Yeah,
in
if you
any
could just, okay.
records.
Oh, all right. That would be great.
And I know a lot of the people in Parks and Rec.
All right. Yeah, no, that would be.
I just gotta make sure it's not a conflict with some other
Yeah.
thing, so. I didn't-
Yeah, I don't. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, I just don't remember the time when they meet.
I'll check. If
Okay.
it's a conflict, I'll let you know.
Okay.
Otherwise,
All right,
I'll be
great.
Happy to do it.
Great. Nina. River Gateway.
There's were two items on the agenda. One was 56 Willard Street, Willard Avenue. They wanted to add a 15 by 12 screen porch, which was within 100 feet of the coastal jurisdiction line. They have since withdrawn their application because it didn't have enough information, so I guess they're gonna resubmit at a later date. And then the second item was pedestrian nodes text amendment. They wanted to add concrete pavers, landscape areas, walkways, and the Connecticut River Gateway Commission didn't feel it was in their jurisdiction, so they just didn't oppose it.
This, who was it, or what was it?
That was the pedestrian nodes text amendment. I think that was the Connecticut Cancer
Oh,
building there. Across from the
Wow,
monkey
they-
farm.
yeah, there was a lot of controversy when they first put that building in about sidewalk and the trees and, yeah.
I guess it was donated pavers and
So the gateway, what does that commission cover? Just the river along
yeah, along the river,
Mhm.
from Saybrook all the way
all the way up to
to the ocean?
East Haddam, I believe.
Well, it goes all the way.
It
Yeah,
goes all the way up,
yeah.
and then it also goes on the other side,
Mhm.
Hadlime down to.
Okay,
Hadlime.
interesting.
Mm. Yeah, interesting commission. Got a lot of interesting things to come
I bet.
on their plate.
A lot of people trying to build on the river.
Lots of pools, believe it or not, swimming pools. A
Really?
lot of swimming pools last year.
Wasn't there like all the millionaires on that east side? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, if you ever bike down River Road in Essex.
Oh, yeah.
Gifted your house in their living room, right?
Right.
Yes, and- Well, this time of year, you really see their view, which is just amazing too.
Yeah.
Very pretty.
I think I saw a helicopter pad on one.
Yeah.
The chambers.
Yeah.
Okay, right, thank you. Talia. What's happening at the high school?
So Saturday, the 22nd of February, we did an invasive plant removal with Philanthropist.
Oh,
In North Cove, I can't remember the name of the street. But yeah, it was like tucked back there, like past the marina over there. And then on the 25th of February, me and my advisor presented to the Board of Ed about the camping trip, and it got approved.
oh, great.
Yeah, so it's gonna be May 3rd through 4th. And then today we started planting in the greenhouse. And so today and tomorrow we're planting during like our flex period. And then hopefully by this upcoming Monday, we have permission slips ready to hand out to the club for the camping trip.
What kind of things are you planting?
Not a lot of pollinator plants. We got a huge donation from one of the teachers at the school, so we just have a huge variety of assorted plants.
You've got small plants, or you're doing everything by seed?
Everything by seed, I think. And
Oh,
then-
wow, wow.
Yeah, and then the hope is that we have like some produce and some like herbs.
Also,
For
these are edible. You're doing
Yeah,
edible.
well, also flowering plants, but for the culinary and life skills classes.
Hmm.
Very good.
So, yeah. Excited.
Yeah.
That's great.
We need a home for the pollinator plants when
Actually, on Thursday after school, me and some members of the ecology club are taking a walk around the campus to see some places where we could plant the plants that we've grown in the greenhouse after they're like matured. So we'll be like locating some spots to plant flower beds.
But Dave, you have
Yeah.
some spots, right? That's what.
Right,
That-
right. If you have enough, we could put some in the pollinator garden.
Oh, yeah.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Because we're definitely looking to add a lot of things this year.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be a nice
Yeah, be wonderful.
circle, because I think I've mentioned that when we first put it in 21, we worked with a group at the high school. I don't know if it was the biology club or whoever, but they were really instrumental in coming up with a list and did all the research for us and really thorough and looked at, what plants are salt resistant and, for that particular area down by the by the points, so it's sort of neat.
The kids at high school picked out all these plants.
Yeah, they did a really good job.
That's cool,
Yeah, some put together like a sort of a printed thing. A couple did a whole little like web page, which, you know, your generation would easily do, and I would have like not a clue. But it was so awesome. Yeah, no, it was great. So yeah, if you have them, keep us in mind and we'll be a honorary space.
Yes.
All right, sustainable CP. Let's see, what's the one that I have here? The land use continues to document the efforts of town departments, boards and commissions and partner organizations in prep for the next certification. And yeah, so our environmental fair will earn credit as a sustainability event. And I meant, yeah, let me. Yeah, I'll save this for the next, just so we don't get totally out of order. So that's pretty much it. It's just right now, sort of prepping for the next submission that we'll have to do in here. We're somewhere. Anyway, we have a little bit of time. Okay. Open space monitoring. Anything?
Nothing.
So
Do you have-
oh,
I was just making a note to contact Lynette to see what else we have to do with that, to make
Yeah.
sure that we can get all
She,
the points for Sustainable
oh,
Connecticut.
yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
It's not, it's sort of open space monitoring, but I just thought I'd bring this to the group and get your ideas. So in the past, we haven't done it, I don't think in the last year or so, but in September, when there's the big sort of global ocean cleanup, we've always gone out and picked up trash. Well, I happened to, in answer to your question about not having been out running and walking in a while, I went out and did the loop around down Great Hammock. I was sort of doing a run and walk, and there's so much stuff, and it's like a perfect time to pick it up right now because nothing is growing. But I thought if any of us had the wherewithal, and you can count me in the next week or so, it would be from Harvey's Beach heading towards Old Boston Post Road and only going up to like maybe that first house or so on the, if you're facing, well, if you're facing out towards towards Boston Post Road, to be everything on the right. Like somebody threw a whole bag of beer cans. I just wanted to scream. I mean, there's probably like 10 of them, like, and I'm thinking a couple people we could get through there and just put your, you know, big rubber boots on and hit it at low tide, because
Yeah,
you can really,
right.
you know, we don't have to go too far down, but and it just made me think, because I know it's a real bugaboo of Carl's, but there's all these nips, all those little bottles, and
Yeah, that should be outlawed.
well, I know, you know what, that the state's getting money for them right now.
Yeah.
The town, it comes back to the town with the little thing, but anyway, I know they should be, but, so I don't know, what do you think? Anybody game?
Yeah, definitely.
Because it's a really nice time, and I just
Yeah.
feel like it's just, I don't know, I just felt so strong when I was walking
Yes,
along,
right.
I'm going, gotta come out here and clean this up, and
Yes.
I think with, you know, 2 or 3 of us, we could get through it in a
The
couple
tide-
hours. I'll bring, you know, I'll supply the bags and,
Look at the tides and,
Yeah.
yeah, want to sort of look at kind of any dates or anything now. Actually, let me look at the tide. I have a tide now.
What we can do is,
So low tide. Well, yeah, lowest tide is like at 4:30-ish, which is a little late. So if we went like, because when did I run by
I'm
there?
gone until Sunday, I'm leaving tomorrow morning, but next week. you're talking
Yeah,
about?
no, I'm not
Okay.
talking about,
Yeah,
yeah,
so-
I'm just
so
saying
the
that in
ti-
general, you know, if we went basically afternoon, you know, like 1 o'clock or something, it would be low enough, I think, that we wouldn't,
On one day.
whatever,
Changes there.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't, it changes incrementally, but I
Yeah,
think.
it
if we
changes.
But
got-
still, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, depending on, I mean,
Well,
I'm
we
just.
can, we
looking at-
can maybe,
Send an email.
yeah, send an email out and we'll try to,
All right, I'll do that.
yeah.
Yeah, sometime next week, yeah,
Yeah.
because I know I'm gonna be away that weekend in Pennsylvania, but, you know, most of us don't work, I could pick a.
I can sneak out.
All right, I'll do it offline, yeah, because I think it just would be, we could get through that pretty quick.
I can do next Tuesday if everybody's available. Or Thursday. Or Friday.
I can't do Friday.
Tuesday
morning. Tuesday's a little clunky for me. I could do it.
Okay, let's do it on,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, we'll do, yeah, I'll do like a doodle thing.
They call it monkey stick.
Yeah. No, thank you, guys. Yeah, all right, let's see. What's my agenda here? I lost my. Here we go. Okay. Pollinator pathway.
do you want me to? You can talk, you can. We, it was just about organizing the meeting. I had a question for Chris,
Okay.
but, actually, today I, went through my notes and just put together the maintenance of what needs to happen, and this was based on, Bonnie, Pender's, recommendations. So, anyway, it's time, to start applying the fertilizer. That's the first round is April 1st. Last year we talked about not cleaning things up till about May 1st because of the possible, insects and all, but we can probably aerate the soil a little bit before we put the fertilizer down. So,
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm glad to, be a part of that. It might be helpful if I could get like one other person. I'm actually gone for about 10 days, but I'll be back the last week of March and first week of April. So anyway, so that's one thing. And, yeah, and so the big thing is really figuring out what we want to put in this year. And we had talked about having a meeting, maybe outside of this meeting, because it might take a little bit too long for here, and want to figure out when to do that. So, is that what you were thinking?
Yeah,
So
well,
we
if
do it
you want to
outside of
share
the-
our meeting that we just had,
Oh, yeah, yeah. We just had a wonderful meeting with, Dave.
lovely volunteers.
and
both-
Danielle, his wife Danielle, who are both in the Master Gardener program and who are interested in volunteering. So we talked all about, what we were doing, and they had a lot of great ideas for, things to look into in terms of why, some of the plants have died, is the watering adequate, and just like really helpful stuff, about the details. No, really, it is like
Mhm.
exactly how much water is needed, which is not like a level of detail that I've been involved with so far. And so, we're going to take another look at, the sprinkling system and how much water we end up getting. Yeah, anyway, it was great. And we're really happy that
Yeah,
you guys are interested.
well, it's pretty impressive. All the documentation you have, like the list I just showed you of all the plantings that have been done already, and you know it intimately. So, we can just try to help add a little bit more. And I'm happy to help you with whatever first steps you have with fertilizing and things.
Great, awesome.
Shouldn't have to aerate the soil.
Okay. Scratch the soil is actually what I wrote down. Scratch the soil lightly before.
Yeah,
applying
you're
fertilizer.
right.
Is that
with the-
correct?
Yeah,
Scratch the soil. Yeah, not area. Although,
or at least to get it.
yeah,
And
last
then-
year.
You know what? I don't know that
Bonnie
we
had
have to
said-
do it. I think it just maybe very, very lightly.
Okay,
Um,
I did have this note from last year, and maybe it was just for then, I don't know. Aerate soil every foot or so. This is from Bonnie, so if we don't think it needs to happen,
So
Yeah.
what can happen is people walk on it and that compacts the soil and makes
Okay.
it difficult for the roots. But that shouldn't happen.
yeah.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
Sandy won't,
So you shouldn't have to
Mhm.
do anything.
okay. But scratching the soil, does that make sense before applying the fertilizer?
Yeah, I checked the bag, because I know I bought the same fertilizer for my gardens at home, and there's partly out of laziness that I don't do much, but I think you're supposed to just take a hard rake and, just
Yeah,
scratch
yeah.
it.
And then
yeah.
she said,
It's
just
not like major.
toss the fertilizer like chicken feed.
Yeah.
There should be based on the soil test, it would tell you the pounds per 100 square
Right.
feet, or
Uh-huh.
1,000 square feet or whatever.
Yeah.
And usually you end up with just a little cup.
Okay, right. So yeah, I'm gonna look up the soil test. We have that from Bonnie. She did a soil test last year, so we can figure out the amount.
Good. Yeah, generally speaking, the potassium and the phosphorus shouldn't change, but the plants use a lot of nitrogen.
Hmm.
That's usually what you end up with that,
Okay.
but the 10-10-10 is fine.
Yeah, and that could be, I never thought about it, because I think we've not been diligent at fertilizing in general over time. Yeah, we're trying to figure out why some of them have,
Right?
Yeah.
That's,
Well, it's 3 times in the season, that, this is what Bonnie recommended last year, April 1st, June 1st, and
yeah, there you go.
August 1st. So I think we did that last
Oh,
year.
all
I
right,
think we missed the April one because we didn't meet with her till May. So we did maybe twice instead of 3 times.
But the plants were happy.
Some of them were. So I mean, that's the other thing, the list I put together, I went through everything in terms of what is still living and what died, and we're still trying to figure out some of the reasons. We know some of the reasons that things died, so we might, avoid doing those, like the bunnies and so, but then there's some things that are doing great, like the asters are doing great. The original asters are fantastic, and the fennel, I think it's fennel that Lynette gave us, comes up really nicely. The stone crop's doing pretty well. Some of the lavender is doing well. So anyway, so yeah, so we just need to figure out, if a couple of people are interested. Is that what we were thinking of?
yeah, I think if, in the past, we have sort of done it offline when Kelly was here, and she was her and I were like one of the original that just kind of started the garden back in 21.
Mm-hmm.
And so we didn't always take up our major meeting time to
Right.
sort of decide on a plan. It was really, just sharing the information and then just offline deciding. And then some of it is just, we do pick native and most of them are available. I think most of the garden places around here, but I think my experience is, I'm sure maybe others have had, you really do need to buy them pretty early because, they'll get out of stock quickly. Like the bee balms and things are really pretty popular.
That's why you need somebody with a greenhouse.
That's exactly.
That's right, plant lots of bee balm and milkweed.
So in the past couple of years that I've been involved, we've been planting in May. Can we plant earlier than that, or is it too early to plant? Yeah, So in terms of buying things, I mean, should we like try
Well, you
to
can
aim for
always-
the first week of May, or
yeah.
try to buy them earlier than that and hold on to them, water them? Okay,
Yeah, sort of towards the end of April.
end of April. Okay,
Yeah.
all right, good. Just so we have
Yeah.
a target date.
Yeah, it's sort of you never know sometimes around, they always say last frost, but
Yeah. but-
sometimes.
When you do your salt, you do salinity too?
I don't know what was included. Do you know, Chris?
I don't remember, it's from Yukon that she had it done. I don't know if I have a
Yeah.
copy.
Yeah,
No, it's in
have it
separate
with me,
folder.
But I'm gonna look it
Yeah.
up.
No, it's in my separate
Yeah.
folder, yeah.
There's been, seagrass, like all the way up into practically, the Fort Park. Like across, we've had storms that blow up, like
Yeah.
Phragmites.
Oh.
Wait, there's a line, like a high tide line
Mm.
that's all the way up, like on the other side of the parking lot. So I don't know if it gets in there, but that would make sense to get salt.
Well, you also have
Because
the wind,
Yeah.
wind blowing,
Yeah,
Right,
just
yeah.
the
Right,
wind blown.
Yeah.
those salt, yeah. And it's mostly in the upper layers.
Yeah.
It's just good to check.
One thing that Young was going to do is rescue plants that are salt tolerant.
Mm.
That would be great.
I think a lot of the ones you have are already.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's great. So should we set up a day? I mean, I don't know who might be interested in looking at, the plants, maybe, I don't know, early to mid-April. That sound like a good time?
Yeah. It's about the right time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So where's this pollinator?
It's at, Saybrook Point at the, near the pavilion.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you know the sidewalk, if you come out of the
Yeah.
pavilion and
Yeah,
then you
yeah.
head up that sidewalk. On the left are a bunch of beach roses and I think evergreen trees. And then on the right, there's 2 patches of
It's
garden.
on the parking lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
So, and they have signs to say pollinator. I mean, right now, all you would see is the inkberry bushes, but
Is that townland or is that?
Mhm.
yeah.
That's right, the Duffy Pennell is part of the town.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, well, we got the idea, what, 4 years ago or whatever, Ray Allen from Parks and Rec, I went to him and proposed it, and he said, happy to dig up the beach roses. He's not a big fan of them, so they just pulled out 2 beds of beach roses, and that's where we've planted.
Okay.
But the, the other ones still have the beach roses on them, which aren't, they still look fine, they're hardy and.
Yeah.
But that is town property, so,
I have a funny story. So there's one of the classmates in the Master Gardener program used to work at the transfer station, Jim, I can't remember his
oh,
last name.
yeah.
Oh,
Mhm.
Jim,
We know
Theron?
Jim, yeah,
Yeah.
Theron,
Yeah.
Theron, yeah.
He's got his own TV channel or something.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
And he interviewed the woman who started the Pollinating the Pathway
Oh,
program.
she's
Oh.
from Norwalk or something.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
In Connecticut.
and it spread across the country.
Yeah.
Wow,
So
wow. Yeah, Jim's a good.
he is.
So,
I assume you provide guidelines for people like mowing and everything for pollinators and stuff. Don't you have, like, you're supposed to delay, don't cut your grass real short, but in the beginning of spring to let some of them.
Oh, for down there, you mean?
No, just.
Or,
in
oh,
general.
just in.
I'm just saying this.
yeah,
Mhm.
Put out any.
Or the
We
mill
have-
site.
we put it on Facebook in the past. It's hard to get the word out. That's, to me, the big mystery is when we want to do education, how do you get the word out? We don't have that many Facebook followers. We don't have, so it's like, there
Yeah, I
are,
was gonna say, like,
it's
in
like
our
the-
association, we all have newsletters, so that's always a vehicle.
we don't have a list to send the newsletters to.
Well, we can get you a list, yeah.
But that's what because we
Yeah.
have a newsletter, we don't send it. So, I mean, we
You
really
have a
are,
newsletter,
We haven't, well, not on a
it's
regular
it's
basis,
not,
but yeah.
because we haven't really found a good way to disseminate it.
Yeah.
I feel like we don't put a lot of effort into it because we don't have
No,
a
no, I
list,
meant-
so we
I
don't, I
meant-
mean,
All the associations have their own newsletter. They
right,
just need material.
no, we have a newsletter, we don't. we-
Oh, but I think what he's saying is that we could provide the information
I
to
see. I
them,
see
to
what you-
their
Yeah, we have
newsletter.
one. Yeah.
And say, oh, by the way, the Conservation Commission, recommends
Okay.
blah, 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 and
Because
yeah.
we often, like, when the time of the year comes around where we want to warn people or try to get people to not have outdoor lighting at night
Right.
because of
we put
migratory
that in
birds,
our
we
notes,
have
yeah.
we have an article in our newsletter and nobody sees it. So it's a little bit of
No,
a,
people, when we put our newsletter, people did react about turning their lights off.
Oh, that's
Good.
great.
yeah,
Yeah, no, that is.
And again,
really
just
good.
informative, it's just.
Yeah,
ignorance.
yeah. Well, that's
So
a
I'll
little
talk
bit of.
at our meeting and see if I can get you the context for the
Yeah,
newsletter.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and let's make sure that we have information on that at the fair.
I was gonna say,
I'm not
Wouldn't
sure.
An environmental fair be a great.
Yeah,
thing?
that'd be a great. Well, that's, I mean, that's actually the origin of the environmental fair
Mhm.
is that we have had this, a little bit of frustration about, we have a message, we want to get, information out. And so hopefully we'll collect contact information, everyone who's interested.
Yeah.
At the
that
fair.
comes, yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's one of the things that we want to do so that when we do put effort into a, some kind of educational newsletter, we know who to send it to.
But right now on the town hall website, you can sign up to get reports from the
Mhm.
Conservation Commission. Can that be a mechanism to get other information
It
out?
can, but not many people are gonna go onto the town hall website to sign up
But
for.
if you sign up with emails, they already are getting messages. I mean, they're just.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I get.
Right,
messages.
so we can ask Lynette how many people are on
Yeah,
that
I
list.
know,
It will
yeah.
be a small list,
Mhm.
anyone who goes to the website to find,
Right,
it's.
But if, it may be small, but that could be a starting point
Yeah,
for them to
yeah.
inform others. You gotta get,
Yeah,
somebody,
I know.
get your foot on the beach. you
Right,
know, just-
right. No, you're
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
you're right.
But I'll check on when we
So-
have our next meeting April 1, so I'll get back, because we're
Okay.
just a week ahead of you.
Yeah.
But I'll get a list of all the newsletters for you, if you're interested in
Okay,
getting material.
So can I throw out an idea for a date?
Mhm.
What if we tried to do a Tuesday at 5, because we know that people are are typically available there then, or no? No. a
Well, I
different
think
Tuesday than others?
Tuesdays tend to be the town meeting days, like any of us
okay,
that
okay.
are on a commission, like, you know, they'll always be the first Tuesday, second Tuesday, blah, blah.
Got it,
so,
right,
yeah.
right, right, okay, so, what would another idea be? You know, I just don't know what's good for people, I don't even know what to guess, like during the day, or at 5, or on a different day, on a Thursday, or.
Mondays and Fridays tend to be pretty open for me, just
Okay,
not that it's all about me.
no, but that's a good starting place.
It's a starting place. Tuesdays tend to be clunky and Wednesday, yeah.
So,
but,
what about like Monday, the 7th?
Works for me.
That's, I mean, it's the day before our meeting, but.
Yeah, no, that's
whatever.
okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah,
Is this the?
This is
plan-
to
plan
talk about
idea?
what, yeah, brainstorm which plans,
Okay.
yeah. And what time,
I'm open.
what's good? Would you like to come, and what's good? for
I
you?
would like to come and sometime before 6. I mean,
Yeah.
I would have to leave at 6.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I can do early, but I don't want to interrupt for people that might be working.
And where are we gonna meet?
Can we get this, can I ask about? or
I don't think we can. I mean, well, I guess the question would be for Lynette, if it's really just a
Oh, I see.
organizing meeting, you know, then if it's gonna be here, then it has to be public and we have to have an
Oh,
agenda and all
right.
that sort of thing. Not that I'm trying to be exclusionary. I think this is just planning a pollinator garden, so
Yeah,
it would be more
yeah.
informal, you know, meet at
Somebody's
The Acton
place.
Library.
Ashland or, yeah, the library.
They have
or-
these
the
rooms
library actually be
upstairs.
great.
Yeah,
Yeah,
library.
the library has all the little rooms over there.
Yeah, okay,
And it's
okay.
pretty central, so.
okay.
I am not restricted on time. I probably prefer, you know, more earlier in the day than later, so.
Okay.
Whatever,
Early in the day, is that good for people?
3:00?
3:00?
Okay.
All right.
Stake in
So
the
I'll
sand, 3:00.
I'll check with Acton. We'll ask her.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, that'd
Yeah.
be great.
Yeah.
That would be great
Yeah.
if she could, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, great.
Done, okay.
Great.
Oh, yeah, just real quick note from Lynette's thing, so that there are pollinator pathway signs available. Remember, I think we brought them in here. They're the little ones or bigger ones. They're available. We bought some more. It's been posted on our Facebook and also on the town website. And I know we were gonna bring them to the environmental fair, so. Tree preservation. Lynette's note, so the booklet, it was reprinted with a few minor edits, mainly just correct typos. So the updated version will be available on the town website, on the land use department. Yeah, and we already mentioned that Kathy's gonna be presenting that. She wrote this, I didn't even see it earlier, on April 10th at 6 at the library. There will be copies available to purchase. I'll cover this when we talk about the environmental fair too. And then the other thing, yeah, I'm glad she wrote this because I probably wouldn't have remembered in terms of just the general tree preservation. The SOS trees, they are still doing their crowdfunding effort to raise money for the trees that will be purchased to be given away this spring, and hopefully have money left over to do it in the fall. And I should have brought a flyer and I didn't, but it's kind of, I'll try to get it out to you guys if you want to contribute, but it will be matched, the money that's raised will be matched by Sustainable Connecticut. And as I said, used to purchase the trees for town residents in their program.
It comes in by the 31st. I think.
And the 30th, thank you,
Yes.
March 31st, thank you. It's right here in front of me, I'm not like reading. I'm glad I have you guys to cover me. Okay. So that's it for tree preservation. Because I do want to move us along, because well, I'll have time. I have a concert to get to up in College, but I'm there by 7, I'm good. Conservation Circular and Events Magazine. So I did submit an article about our environmental fair for events that will be coming out imminently.
Any day.
Yeah, eminently. So. And the next one was due May 21st, so we have a little bit of time to think if I don't know if we'll have any significant events to put in there. And yeah, what's on the agenda, just so you know too, Joe, so the Conservation Circular, that's our newsletter. The previous chair, was a lot more active in doing this like every quarter. But this was also before COVID, and so we would print a lot of copies, which wasn't exactly the cheapest thing to do, and we would distribute them around. And then COVID hit and printed material went by the wayside, and then we sort of fell off the wagon doing it, partly because we didn't always have substrate to put in it. It was always like, what are we going to write about? But when we had enough information, we would do one. And I think I was supposed to do one last fall, which you gave me information for, and I never got around to doing it. But I think it's partly, as Laurie was saying, it's hard to think who reads it, but when we get it printed, we get it electronically, and it does go on town website, so you can see the old versions there, but we haven't done one in a while. So maybe after the environmental fair, we can put a little effort into creating one, because it's been a while.
I think you
since-
want to just go electronic, a PDF on it.
Yeah, and that's, yeah, I think we would print maybe,
No, but we have to
20.
figure out how to send it out,
Yeah.
because
Well,
having it,
The
re-
town is the website, you just post it there.
nobody goes to the website. We have a great website, but you gotta get people to the website. That's
yeah.
the.
I mean,
you
I don't
know,
know how, yeah, I haven't looked at how many hits
You would
in a
be
while.
an unusual
Castle and that.
person who I,
Okay.
but you might have gone to
I'm
our
unusual,
website.
yes.
But
No,
you
I
know, we
check it
really
all
wanna-
the time.
Really want to spread it
No, I
far and
check it all
wide
the
and,
time.
you know, it's, and not just preaching to the choir, you know. It's-
But I
Well,
think, you know,
right.
yeah, we should look to
Well,
see how
again, you
many.
can work through other organizations, pass it
Right.
through them, because they already have a member list.
Right.
And I
Yeah.
don't think you want to start
Yeah, we should
building
think
up a
about it.
giant database on your own when there's
No,
already
yeah, no.
distributions out there. So I think you just,
Yeah.
you know, make a request.
should think
Again,
about how
that
to
it's
do
so
this.
infrequent anyways, just say,
Yeah.
hey, could you pass this to?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll check and see how many hits. I think I can see that. I'm not sure. Maybe Lynette has to look how many hits
Yeah,
we're actually
you can
getting.
see.
Yeah, she would be where I would start.
She should be, yeah, because she's the administrator. Yeah, so we're sort of talking about the commission webpage and additional outreach, which kind of just went hand in hand on what
Yeah,
we were
exactly.
talking
Same
about,
thing.
so. All right, so let's talk about our environmental fair.
Looks like we have 10 to 12 presenters, you know, tables
Okay, and I need
so
to
far.
go
And those are
in.
the ones that have been recorded in the spreadsheet.
I did hear just, today is Tuesday, Monday, it might have been Friday. I finally heard from somebody from DEEP that it's the, I always forget the name, it's the Master Wildlife Conservation, what is it called? Anyway, somebody's gonna come and talk about bobcats.
Oh, super.
So we have a presenter.
That's fun.
So I haven't put it on your Google thing yet. I just keep forgetting, but I just heard from her, like, I think it was Friday.
That'll be one of the half-hour segments.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, yeah.
That'll be okay, not a table.
I'll see if she has any information, but for the time being, I would assume that the primary piece of it would be talking about bobcats. Yeah, she might have some material during the presentation that people could walk away with. But yeah, it's really just gonna be there. It's a specific program that they do. I think it's
It'd be great
primarily
if she could
geared
bring
towards.
material
but-
to put on a table, even if she can't stay,
Like a box.
because like a bobcat.
I know, I was gonna say,
No,
they're in
no,
my yard,
or-
I'll try
or
to trap
whatever
one.
whatever other material that organization, that department has.
I'll
That's
ask.
beyond just bobcats, even if they have material, because people that only the people who come in that half hour
Mm-hmm.
will see that. Whereas at a table, there'll be, you know, people milling through. So that would
Okay,
be
no,
really
yeah, I
nice
will
if they have other material. Yeah.
My sense was that it was very presentational, you know, because they come and talk to children, you know,
Right, right,
schools and
right.
whatever. But no, I mean, I think it's, yeah, it
Absolutely.
would be good because they present on, I don't have the brochures probably buried in my booklet, bears and bobcats and eagles. There's a number of different wildlife. There's a small list. It's not like endless, but they speak about and do presentations and stuff. So, but I will ask that they have information that they can leave. Because I think we have one more meeting, obviously before the fair, but I think I let her know that, you know, it would be like a half an hour segment, and I asked her if she had a preference for morning or afternoon. She did not answer me. But do we have any other, before we go too far into what all's coming, do we have any other presenters locked in at this point? From anybody?
I have Bushy Hill Nature Center, not a presenter. They're gonna do a table. And then the Connecticut River Gateway Commission's gonna let me know if they're reaching out to their communications commission, like board.
And Kathy Conley said she would speak. We just have to
Oh, okay,
tell
all
her-
right.
tell her what to talk
So
about.
definitely Kathy.
And I thought, yes, yes,
Oh, yeah,
yes,
yeah.
right, but, yeah. That's right. To get back to them because we don't have, we don't have any equipment for them, so I don't know if they'll be comfortable doing it.
I think they are. They just think they
Okay.
have to bring
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
They were really excited
Oh,
because they have the very next week, they have a water sample gathering thing. And by coming to us first, they can give out the kits.
yeah,
Everybody can
right.
go home and get their sample and come the next week
Mm.
and get it tested.
This is the Michael Dietz. one?
Yeah, but it's not Michael, it's one of those students.
Oh, okay, okay.
What's
So
it
that's-
called?
All right.
It's through the Yukon Agricultural Extension.
Oh, okay.
And the plan is still 10 to 1, right?
Mhm.
Yes.
So the
That includes the
presenters,
public.
the people will come like 1:45. A little
Yeah,
before 10 to 7.
Oh, yeah, yeah, well, people setting up a table, yeah,
No,
we would want
yes,
to, but the presenters
Probably
could
at
be,
least a half hour before we need to have it open so
Yeah.
that people can come in and set up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
'Cause-
I'm thinking we should be there by 9.
Yeah.
Because we have to get the tables moved from wherever they are to.
Right,
to the
right.
gym.
So it would be good to figure out how to, reach back out to all the people who are committed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit closer to the event, with
Right.
details
Yeah.
like, the doors will be open at 9 o'clock, tables will be
Mhm.
set up. You're welcome
Yeah.
to come in at that point and, put your material up or whatever.
Is the garden's gonna have, the garden group gonna have a table?
Yep,
The garden club.
they've already
Yeah.
booked it, yes.
Yeah. And the reason,
Diana did it through me.
I have a neighbor who's an entomologist, retired,
Uh-huh.
and he used to be an extension for decades. He's very good. And he's volunteered if you want an entomologist to answer questions about insects.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, he's really, actually, he's pretty internationally known.
oh, wow,
That's
yeah, that would
amazing.
be,
Give them a
That's really
table.
cool.
Yeah.
No, I mean, he
Presenter?
said he would go with a group, he's just an individual,
Well,
but I thought
well-
he fit with the garden club, right?
Yes, but also, I finally heard back from Wild Ones, which is the, native plant organization. That would go hand in hand
Yeah,
with,
wherever you want to,
native plants, because specifically,
mm,
yeah,
beyond garden club stuff, which is,
no, I understand,
Yeah.
yeah, so he said whoever you want to put him in,
Yeah,
but he's
that would
already
be great.
committed.
oh, cool, yeah,
yeah,
okay.
And he's an expert on the whole thing from bed bugs to the whole 9 yards.
yeah. that'd be
Got
great.
some competition on that day. Chester is having an Earth Day.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I
Yeah.
saw your note, right.
Yeah,
Well, they're far enough away,
Yeah.
hopefully we'll. They're way up the road.
We can advertise at the end of the street, come to Saybrook
Yeah.
for more information.
What time?
Yeah, there you go.
Have them do it in the afternoon.
I just, Norm Needleman talked a little bit about being locked in because he knew he wanted to cover both, probably from a political perspective.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Ours is gonna be much better. You should have ours.
So a couple things that I can add. So the tree and shrub brochure, Chris Costa had called me about this late last week. So Parks and Rec will be there, and I need to clarify what else they may present, but they also want to make this the brochure available to buy. So it's costing them, and I didn't write this down, I didn't bring my note. I mean, they're basically selling it for like maybe $1 over what it's costing, if even that. But the only thing is to share with you, with all of us, is that so it's a conservation commission. We don't really deal with money, like we can't really sell and all that sort of thing. It gets kind of clunky in terms of the town and whatever. But what she's saying is that she's going to pull, this is like probably way too much information because it took me a minute to understand it. But way it's going to work is that they're going to take some money out of our budget to purchase like 20 tree and shrub brochures, whatever. And then people will buy them and then we'll kind of get reimbursed that
Okay.
money. So it's all on the back end of the town budget sort of thing. So she said, I just want to make sure that was okay with you. And I'm like, sure, fine.
We're floating along.
I'm gonna trust that you're not gonna rot. And she said, you always have money left over. I'm like, yeah, we generally do. And this will probably be the big expenses that we'll have with this particular event this year. So that's that. And then, I did want to share with you guys, I forgot to bring it. I thought it was really cool. And I'm just gonna have them there. It's not gonna be a special table, but, sun is now in my eyes. So I've been getting Wine Enthusiast magazine for quite a while. My husband and I are into wine. We enjoy wine. And the last issue, which was amazing, was all about, I don't even use necessarily the sustainability word, but it was around how the wine industry is really trying to fight kind of the environmental thing, from the size of the bottles and like how heavy they are and what it costs to ship them, which is planes and like some companies are looking to ship the wine like literally on a boat because it's so much cheaper and environmentally better. They didn't talk too much about beer, but the hard liquor industry is looking at packaging, like different kinds of packaging other than glass and stuff. So it was the whole issue. So anyway, I figured I don't need to be reimbursed. I reached out to them and I got, how many, I think 12 copies or whatever. They only charged me $5 and I'm just gonna have them there because it's,
Yeah.
so if you're into, an occasional glass of wine, it's love. Yeah, well, it's beyond that. It's really thinking about, I never thought about the shipping and how heavy some of the bottles are. And so the industry is saying, why are these so heavy? Like, why do we need to have them so heavy? Like, yeah, some have to be dark. So anyway, I just got all excited. So I thought I'd share in a totally different little venue, something that I think might pique people's interest to say, hey, there's a lot of people that are really caring about the environment in different kinds of way. And then,
Do we need any posters?
Yes, I was just gonna. Is anybody good at making posters
for
Good.
the whole,
for the fair?
Just to say environmental fair on the
We need
door,
to-
right?
Not only on the door, we need to be able to post it
them up,
around.
like at the
Yeah.
library.
Oh, you mean around town?
Yeah, we gotta get people there.
I think,
Have the electronic ones that somebody was gonna get that.
yeah, I'll do that. Lynette said we have to wait, there's a time frame. And it's just a form that I have to fill out and it'll go up there. So yeah, it's like
Putting it all around town.
I don't know, I forget the time, 2 weeks,
Libraries.
something or whatever.
Yeah.
It goes up. So yeah, no, we'll do that. Before we get into the poster thing, can I also share, because Lori had sent me an email. The other thing will get printed, and these came off terrible in my printer at home. But the Homegrown National Park, if you guys, we've talked about this. They have some wonderful material. We'll just have these out. I'll pass this around. Unfortunately, when I printed it at home, it's like flipped around, but I'm thinking we would send this to
Right.
Staples and they would do it really nice
They
and on
have a
better
lot.
paper. But there's, let's plant everything native.
Yeah.
There's just wonderful information.
All about,
Yeah.
they want to just. put
Yeah.
This material.
And then this would just be a flyer to say, hey, you can just be part of your own. It's all about thinking of your background, of your yard being a national park. So, yeah, we'll have that. Because Doug Ptolemy, however you say his last name, he's an expert in this and well recognized.
Job of creating educational material for.
Yeah. So even though they will not be this small, I don't know why that, it's a PDF that they give you.
Better than I did. I couldn't figure out.
Well, I had to cut it and it just came out really, but I just wanted to share that with you guys because I think we can maybe even decide in the last meeting how many copies we make one and just get it over
Yeah.
to Staples. And
Is this a national organization?
It is, yeah.
It's through the
really,
Wildlife
Federation,
Federation,
National
National Wildlife Federation is affiliated with it.
Yeah.
But it's a great website. It has so much information. It's very encouraging. They've figured out how to disseminate,
yeah, and it's not, I think it's well laid out without being overwhelming, like you can sort of
Absolutely.
pick
Like
your
everybody
topic.
can do it,
And yeah.
provide water and shelter and plant, they kind of make it so that everybody feels like they're able in their own space to
Yeah,
support wildlife, and so it's not.
you know,
just makes
he's a,
it possible.
he's a big proponent, because he did this, I've heard him talk twice now, turning, you know, when you think about, it was like sometimes what, in 1960s or 70s, when the big giant lawn in the front of your yard became this sort of status symbol, and now he's all about plant trees and get rid of that and because when you look at some houses, you're like, oh, look at this stuff.
You know, the history of lawns.
Would a
Started-
social be
they
just a
started-
presentation?
They started, oh,
Well,
with branch, oh,
Yeah, when the people were so wealthy, the nobles,
oh.
they could show everybody they
Thank
I
could
mean,
take
we
land
kinda
and
want
not
something you
plant
can mass produce,
food on
not-
it or
Right, you
anything.
can send it to Staples and they
Yeah.
can print it
Yeah.
on legal size, something. a little
Everybody
bigger,
wants to be noble. So
That's right, we all want our little chateau.
You need to have computer skills to do a color flyer for the fair.
I guess I can. I don't know if I'm.
Something like Environmental fair.
We can, yeah, you and I can
School
talk.
Sponsored by the Conservation Commission. That's about all you need to say.
Yeah.
10-1.
No, I'm gonna put more like a couple of ideas of who might be there to spur it.
Yeah, whatever,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, yeah, no, I think
I'll disperse, I'll get them out.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay,
good, all right.
Yeah.
because we did have, I don't know if it was at the last meeting,
Yeah, here we go.
one of our
Come on,
meetings,
win.
yeah, we talked about where we would,
I'm sorry, I have to, I just realized this.
yeah, where we would put up signage and stuff. So, yeah, it would be the library and,
We're gonna have
what,
any refreshments at the fair?
We're gonna wanna.
Any drinks or anything at the fair?
like wine along with my, no. I don't,
Yeah.
Right?
don't know,
I was trying to-
10-1, I think people
Lori,
just
do I send that?
bring,
Let them bring their own.
Do I-
yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
it's one less thing to,
Okay, sorry.
Uh,
Just realized it.
I mean, if any, unless,
Has anyone, can anybody reach out to the schools and say, hey, tell all your kids about the fair?
Yeah, I'll tell the ecology club for sure, and I can do an announcement over the loudspeaker.
That would be.
oh, wow,
Wow. Announcement.
yeah, okay.
And so can you also contact the middle school and the elementary and ask them to do something like that?
I can try, yeah.
Well, what about your friend, your assistant principal friend?
Yeah, that's the middle school.
I know, well,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I was just trying to give something that's
Oh.
appropriate for our high school rep to,
Yeah, David, he used to be the science teacher over at the high school. He's now at the middle school, I think. Yeah. 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 In fact, I think he was the one who was the teacher when we did I don't know if it was part of the senior project when they came up with the pollinator list. I think he was still there at that time. But yeah, I could reach out to Mr. Park.
I can put together a press release and send it to the local papers. And see if they'll publish it
Oh,
for us.
yeah, they should, yeah.
that's why not.
That'd be great, yeah. And I know, speaking of, Norm Needleman, his newsletter that I get, he always puts all the local stuff. I don't know how he
Yeah.
finds it, but he would be, I don't know if you've been in touch with him, but certainly,
The old Saybrook.
I get his secretary.
yeah, so he
Yeah,
just
we-
always puts a little blurb on all the stuff that's
Chris
going on.
wrote something for that, the one that's coming out.
Yeah.
The Saybrook events.
The events, yeah.
And the Chester Fair is, or the Chester Environmental Fair is 12 to 4. So if we can get him in the morning, he can still do both.
Well, I'm sure that's what they're trying to figure out, but
Oh,
That'd be great.
he didn't like being locked into a specific time here. He said he'd rather wander about
Okay.
than have a
Make it
table. Yeah,
well,
but he was the only one, his group that had the wind information.
oh, right, right.
Yeah.
Are you still looking for solar information?
I've got a solar guy coming, 2 people from Niantic,
Oh, good.
Okay.
and your guy is coming on domestic. The name you gave me, I think.
Yeah, okay. Was it
He's all
Sean?
set.
Oh, good. Oh,
Yeah.
Great.
But I've made 3 contacts with Eversource and gotten no response.
Really? Wow, I'm surprised. We're into
I'm not.
outreach. I
I
think.
even told them why I thought it would be good for them to do it,
Mhm.
and it still didn't get anybody.
Oh.
Hmm.
Are we still thinking about doing like gift basket raffles or something to collect email addresses and stuff?
I know we haven't talked, we mentioned it a while ago to do something like that.
Cause I'll be happy to put one together.
Because I also thought about getting, and I would contribute Doug Ptolemy's book, which I have. Can't think of the name of it offhand,
Which
but
one?
anyway.
He's got a new one.
Yeah, he does have a new
Yeah,
one.
I just saw it advertised.
Yeah, it's, I think just getting released. That actually
Oh.
might, if we could get a copy. They're doing some kind of a raffle fundraiser on their website right now, but I just didn't have the patience to go in there. And plus, it's like nationwide, and I said,
Yeah.
we'll figure out. Yeah, but I think it would be nice to get, do a raffle if we had like, yeah, if you put something together, and I'll try to get the book,
Okay.
a book from Ptolemy. I know his later ones, you should probably be able to get easily, but I don't know about the
I
new
can
one.
give you
Yeah, I don't know
a
if
pair of
about-
tickets
yeah,
for our
I think-
Catherine Hepburn play that opens in May.
Oh, okay.
It's a one-woman show about Catherine Hepburn in Fenwick in 1938 and again in
Oh.
1950.
Oh, that'd be
So
great.
2 tickets for that. It's called Tea at 5.
Anything else on the environmental fair? Let's see. Lori said yes. I'll try to work with her to put together a flyer. And a poster for out front. I'm just thinking about that. Yeah. On the day of, so people know where to go.
Mhm.
All right, so
So, yeah,
flyer.
so should we like get posters at the next meeting? That's the 8th. Is that time enough to put them out? Or do we?
Well, that's fine enough.
that's
Yeah, oh,
time
yeah.
enough?
You only
Like
want
a
them,
couple
Yeah.
weeks? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, because I think otherwise people,
It'll be lost.
oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah,
great.
no, good point
Great.
though. Because I know I
And
keep
then-
forgetting like it is
we
the
have
way
to-
at the end of April, so we have a little more time with another meeting in between. Okay. All right, I think that is it for the agenda. Anything else? Any last minute?
No, we have the budget meeting. Middle school.
Oh, yeah, you're not,
Interested, everybody, know if you're interested.
I kind of read through it.
Yeah.
We did find someone who set up I still have the Junior High in middle school. Is there gonna be, like, if we wanted to, someone wanted to post something besides we're just having a table, like what do you call those things that, we hang things on?
Oh,
You know
yeah,
what I
yeah, yeah.
mean? Is that available at the middle school, or? I just think it would look nice, to have things posted as well as this table.
You can ask. I know, I forget what those are called. I think
Bulletin
vol-
board?
Yeah, sort of a bulletin board,
It's
yeah.
not usually on wheels, right?
like
Yeah, I
on
was
wheels
thinking
or
the
something,
easel
yeah.
too.
Yeah, something.
I'm gonna
easel.
guess if they have them, they're in use and they're not gonna let alone, but
Right, okay.
Yeah, I think they'd have to
Yeah,
bring.
it's not like they have a stockpile of these things sitting in a closet somewhere.
Right.
Presenters, things like that.
That they
bring.
bring.
Yeah. I think, yeah, especially some of the more organized groups would hope.
Or even an easel,
Yeah, right,
Yeah, that's true. That would.
right.
Okay, thanks.
We have a ton of those at the theater. I can lend you them.
Oh,
The ones that are all folded up and you just kind of put them out and then they create
oh, yes, yes.
their like
Yeah.
metal tubes.
Yeah.
We have like 6 or 7 or 8 of them.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
All right, yeah,
That'd be
no, that'd be
great.
great. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Those are, they're very, yeah, very movable.
Hmm. I'll
Okay.
bring them to the next meeting.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Okay.
Great.
Something's going on in there.
Yeah.
Okay, do I have a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion to, second.
All in favor?
Yeah.
Aye.